All right there. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everybody all around the world here. Welcome to another edition of the ALTTPR Spoiler Log Tournament here. Tonight we got a nice little match here between, on one side we've got Walther the Fourth here, and the other side we've got daaanty. This is going to be a great match today, and both of these runners are 3 and 2. We're going to be starting in just a minute here. Today I am joined in the booth by Mercer there. How you doing there, bud?
Pretty good. Looking forward to this one. Our runners kind of fighting for their chance at staying alive for brackets.
Yeah, that's the thing. The quality of the runners in this tournament is pretty much as high as you. Just trying to make those top 8 brackets there is such a difficult thing. If you end up getting to the point where you're basically 3 and 3, that is pretty much enough to put you out of this.
Yeah, some number of 5 and 2s are going to make it. It's going to come down to some tiebreakers. But our runners are about to get started here. We'll see if they start in the same place or not.
And here we go.
Don't.
Interesting. daaanty using the early bomb drop there in Link's house to give himself a quick 3 bombs there. Picks up the glove there out of the sanctuary. So nice early start for both of the runners, it looks like.
And yeah, with the most recent minor version, save and quitting got back to how it has traditionally been with Randomizer and how it is in the vanilla game, instead of the much slower save and quit with the delay on the title screen that we had for a while. So less cost to that than there would have been like 2 weeks ago.
Definitely. And that's one thing. It's taken a little bit of getting used to again to find out that, all of a sudden the game is extremely responsive again, and you're not just sitting there hammering buttons there, as daaanty picks up 300 rupees and the bow out of the back of Escape there, while Walther has picked up the boots and the ice rod there out of Blind's Hut. The ice rod there looking like it might not be needed, because as this is a spoiler log, we are seeing we're seeing a pendant there in Turtle Rock. We already know pretty much everything.
Yeah, it could just be maybe the fire rod is after desert and wants it for Landmolus or something. Could be that they have to do Tronex, even though it's a pendant.
Yeah, you never know here, as daaanty goes ahead and he picks up his early flute there, so that is a pretty good early game setup here. It looks like daaanty will make his way in and pick up his boots as well, and the runners will have full movement capabilities within the first 2 minutes of this seed, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, Walther will have to make another trip back over. Wow, and there's the hammer.
Okay. Game wants to be easy, I guess, for these guys, huh?
And yeah, he is going to go grab the flute now.
Interestingly enough, daaanty taking that little bit of extra time in Blind's Hut here, picking up 2 heart containers. Walther decided not to even bother with those there, so he's still going to run this on 3 hearts, it looks like. While daanty's going to have a bit of a health advantage here with the 5 hearts. Spoiler logs are intense in that there is a lot of pressure on both of these runners, because you can watch the other guys. There's a good chance that both of them could very well pop themselves into chat, so say hi.
And then there's the powder out of the well. It just looks like Walther's skipping a lot of the safeties. I also didn't grab the 300 rupees in Escape, which would have cost like 4 seconds or whatever, not even.
Yeah, that's one of those things where you hope that doesn't come back to bite him later, because I'm looking down at our pendant layout and our crystal layout here, and pod is definitely something we're gonna have to do, and you don't want to go there without paying the monkey. And there you go, there's Dark World access already.
Yeah, Walther also owns 0 bombs with no money to buy any.
daaanty on the other side gonna go pick up a 10-pack of bombs and then probably make his way into Dark World, I assume.
Yeah, Walther already on the way there.
Well, I mean, just throwing it out there, just from a general routing perspective here, looks like both of these runners are going to... Well, daaanty's going to run back and go get his hammer, and I'm kind of curious to see if he decides to maybe go and start a different location than Walther does. Walther is kind of leading me to believe he's headed towards Thieves Town.
Yeah, with the less fun way of getting through that when you have the boots, you would much rather be able to just poke through those with a sword, but no sword, you would just bounce off. You gotta lift all those up.
Oh boy, this is everybody's favorite type of Thieves Town. A fire rod first, but a 3-heart green mail hammer Thieves Town. Feels like inverted to me right there.
Yeah, though normally in inverted, you wouldn't necessarily have even the level of gear that Walther has. Also, quite clearly confident in it, chose not to get those extra 2 hearts.
Yeah, this is a level of confidence that is pretty impressive to see. Honestly, it's just I know Walther has quite often will do low percent runs and such like that. So, I mean, he's definitely capable of pulling things off like this. I'm just kind of surprised that he's choosing to do this, because he was, until he picked up that one little heart there, one hit from death by a lot of those enemies. So we'll have to see. Now, daaanty on the other side is already down there, pretty low health himself there. He's down to just a half heart, making his way over to get the big key.
Yet there's not anything in Thieves Town that does less than half a heart, so don't get hit.
These grasshoppers there up in the attic are just one of the worst things in the entire world, as Walther finally picks up a couple of bombs. And his sword. Okay, so that explains the coming into Thieves Town with just your hammer and 3 hearts there. It's a little bit easier to do a blind fight when you've got a sword and 3 hearts versus having a hammer.
Yeah, the fighter sword with its lesser reach does just as much damage as hits from Master Sword for blind, but you do just have to watch that hitbox a little bit.
Oof, daaanty making me nervous getting through the rest of this dungeon so far here. Yeah, this attic hallway and this attic room here, these little grasshopper things there are just the worst, because their movements are so... It feels erratic at times, but looks like he's going to be able to, at the very least, get his sword here and then make his way up there.
Yeah, now with the sword can just dash. Couldn't dash towards the bombable floor because running into a grasshopper without a sword would just kill him.
Alright, we're into our scripted blind fight over on Walther's side here, and this is where the sword just becomes a huge advantage there. This script is much easier to follow than the swordless script. Walther just showing exactly how it's done here. All 9 hits, and there goes blind. He's exploding, and we're going to get our first crystal of the day there.
Yeah, so mostly just the sword from in here. I guess the fire rod was also in Thieves.
Right, the fire rod was right there in the first chest there, so I mean that was a little bit of a nicer thing. Now daaanty taking just a moment here to powder an anti-fairy, getting his health back to full here, so he's going to have a 5-heart blind fight, which is a little bit better. Still could have, there's a possibility of things going wrong there.
Yeah, Walther also did not grab the powder, which if you're just getting it as a safety, I guess it's worth a lot less if you're going to just stay on 3 hearts the whole seed.
I kind of wonder if that's his plan, to really just go for this for 3 hearts here, as daaanty's into his blind fight as well. He's going to try to follow the same exact script here, and kind of doubt that he's going to have too much trouble there. Ooh, maybe got off there. Yep, we're off script now. There, here comes the scary part.
But gets through it just fine. There's the Cane of Samaria over on Walther's side, and some cash to get into pod, and a bug net.
Alright, daaanty taking a little bit of extra time to make his way down to the brewery here, and goes ahead and picks up a lamp, which that is, you know, one of those finds that it's going to make the rest of his game just a little bit easier, maybe a little bit quicker to get through some of those dark rooms. That's one of the fun things about the spoiler log races, is you have to see what do the runners prioritize. Walther's skipping everything.
Yeah,
except for the hook shot there.
Yeah, with this layout, they are skipping some of the dark rooms, but they have to do Mire, basement, and pod, both of which will go decently faster with a lamp.
Yeah, and that's the question for these guys, is like, how much can you skip? How much do you feel like you should skip at the time and such here? Now, with that lamp, I'm kind of curious to see if daaanty is going to decide to immediately go into pod here after he gets his hook shot. I feel like the hook shot's going to be the first thing.
And there's a royal death on one of the secretly dangerous screens in the game.
Yep, Death Mountain on 3 hearts is a quick way to get knocked down there, that's for sure. And it looks like that's pretty much going to equal up these runners very fast here. And on, if anything, on daaanty's side, ooh, Walther already down to 1 heart, going to have to try to make it through this gauntlet again. Alright, looks like he got through this time.
It gets to the significantly safer, although still not perfectly safe, East Death Mountain.
Yeah,
these dead rocks are a little dangerous.
Yeah, they'll do a full heart of damage there on Greenmail, and they are just the worst here. But he's going to be able to pick up 2 hearts in the basement here if he decides to, and I kind of feel like he'll take these in this case. And definitely going to pick up that blue mail, and it looks like we're screen for screen with both of these runners at this point.
Yeah, blue mail effectively doubles your heart against most damage sources. There are ones that just always do 1 heart, like spikes.
Yeah, Walther joining us there in chat there just to say how silly everything is.
We get the mirror and flippers here in Paradox Cave.
All right, boys, where to next here? We're not quite in go mode yet by any means, but we are getting pretty close.
backwards, maybe?
Alright, yeah. Possibly there. It looked like daaanty was making his way to the north of Hyrule there for a second. Before he realized, forgot something, and he's headed back to the Dark World portal over here. Kind of curious what they're looking for at the moment.
Nope. Going somewhere else. Well, this could be Graveyard Ledge. We did just get the mirror. Nope, heading south.
Alright, so Walther is... okay, he's coming for the lamp here. Okay, he's not gonna... yeah, I was about to say, like, doing 3 heart dark rooms, especially like Mire and such like that, seems like such a terrible idea.
That is fair.
Alright, daaanty is dashing across the north of Hyrule right now, and this is a Graveyard Ledge or King's Tomb it looks like, and that's gonna be King's Tomb.
Let's see what they needed to get over here.
Yeah, just looking at what's missing here. Ah, those are missing. Yep, those are the myths.
That is a tremendously terrible location for myths.
Alright, daaanty's going to make his way to Pod. Walther went back into the Dark World here. He's going to pick up another bomb, and not 100% sure where he is headed right now.
Oh, Woods, probably? I'm not totally sure. That's the only thing that really makes sense.
I mean, if you have a chance to do a 3-heart blue male fighter sword moth fight, you gotta take it, right?
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a hammer moth fight, but yeah, point taken.
Oof. I mean, the madman, honestly. You know, this is making me wonder, though, where on earth are those other swords? Because if this is your choice, those swords must be in a terrible, terrible location. daaanty on his side, making his way through probably the much easier part of the game here, as he's working his way just through Pod there. He's going to probably pick up the big key, and he's going to need at least a small key to get to the back here and see what else he grabs on his way. Oh, we're firing up a hover on his side. We've got a flying pug.
Difficult one.
Oof.
Gets it.
Nicely done on his side there, as we're into that hammer moth fight, as you mentioned.
Nice use of the sword for extension. You see that a lot on Helmasaur. Down to 1 heart, though.
Yeah, this is going to be tense.
Paul's buffering for the spikes. Oh, just misses a hammer shot there. I think that might have been the last hit, too.
That's one of those things, as has been mentioned many times before, if you hit Moth into the spikes, it does no damage. Whew. Great fight from Walther there. Oh, and silver arrows over on daaanty's side there, so that's going to give Walther the 1 crystal lead as daaanty picks up silver arrows, and man, that was a great fight. Everybody take a deep breath, he's okay.
Let's see where Walther heads now. It looks like Dante heading towards Helmasaur with that pod.
I guess the silver arrows are the only thing that he was looking to get out of here, and now it's time to go and finish the dungeon. Okay, so what are we missing at this point?
We need bombos for Meyer.
Okay, yep. So we're going to need bombos for Meyer and
a master sword for Ganon.
Yeah, I guess the master sword, a sword.
I do believe that's it.
So again, we have to ask that question, where on earth are the swords right now? Like, so far it's been the one sword out of the attic in Thieves Town, and then other than that, it's just a whole lot of I hope you like swordless fights.
Dante gets Helmasaur down with Silver Arrow.
And yeah, that'll tie us up on crystal counts there. We're at 2 crystals apiece for both runners at about at just over 20 minutes in. Walther a bit short on that bomb toss there, but he's going to get 2 more bombs there to make himself feel better. And daaanty is going into a green pendant Eastern Palace right now.
Yeah, maybe one of the swords is sitting in here.
For those of you just joining us right now, as Walther's going to be making his way through Pod, which we've kind of already seen. Oh, that explains why we're coming into Eastern Palace today, because that was the Bombos medallion right there. Over on daaanty's side. This is the spoiler log tournament here. Both runners are given basically the location of every item in the game and then given 15 minutes to study it and plan their route through the entire rest of the game here. So that's why you're kind of looking, and if you look at both runners there, you can see that Walther has 3 hearts and daaanty has a grand total of 5 hearts. So they have to decide exactly how much risk and how much, how much variance they really want to add into their games here. As daaanty's making his way into Misery Mire, and Walther is going to go ahead and finish off the back of Pod, it looks like. Now, are we going to get a friendly big key here out of Misery Mire? That doesn't look like it. Looks like we've got to go all the way to at least hit the switch here on the left side.
No. Not in the vanilla spot, at least. Mire is one of the dungeons that is most improved by knowing exactly where the big key is.
Oh god, yes, yeah. Sitting there in that lobby chest is not a bad place for it here. As we're gonna get are we gonna get a fancy door extension? Oh, we're gonna try. There we go.
Nice.
And that is a much faster little clip to do than to run all the way down there, and it's actually not particularly difficult to do there. It's a 1-frame movement up, followed by a dash, and then there you go, as Walther takes down Helmasaur on his side. And that'll give him his 3rd crystal. Looks like we might be seeing some spooky action glitch there over on Dante's side there. He looks like he went ahead and armed that before, and we're going to take a quick... Yep, there it is. One of the best named and most fun tricks to do in this entire thing here. And oop, looks like he's gonna... He gets it on the 2nd time there in the final room there. Spooky action, it's again a trick that requires a little bit of a prior setup there, and once you know how to do it, not particularly hard, it does save you a good probably 9 to 10 seconds over having to go through with the bombs there. As I believe we've just fought Vitreous there. I don't know, he wasn't on screen very long.
It's definitely the fight in the game that has the highest variance between an easy version of it and a hard version of it.
Yeah, the silver arrows are locked behind Vitreous for a reason.
Walther will have to get a 4th heart at some point, however, as Vitreous drops one.
Yeah, chat just brought that up. That's kind of a shame. I feel like Walther should just basically stop right now. Just pull a whole new seed for himself. Alright, we're into Desert Palace over on Dante's side here. Gonna get the big key off the torch here, and since we're still missing a sword, man, we're sword from go mode right now, aren't we?
Yeah, and given that our runners aren't going to the same dungeon to get a sword, it might be a while before we see one.
I am so curious what the play is going to be on those swords. I kind of want to go get the spoiler log and just kind of game plan what these guys are thinking here. It's so interesting seeing the difference in strategy between these two, of Walther's just like, nope, screw it, I'm just gonna go. I don't need health, I don't need safeties, I'm just going. And Dante taking a little bit more time to go ahead and pick up 1 or 2 safeties here. Like, they're still step for step at this point, even though they're doing completely different dungeons.
Yeah, we really, given the level of divergence in the dungeons they've done, we may not have them reconverge exactly until they're ready to head up to Tower of Hera.
Yeah, from this, it does kind of look like Tower of Hera is going to be our final dungeon today. Which is kind of the dream there, because that's for anybody who's been playing the game recently there, who's familiar with the Hera pot there, Tower of Hera takes approximately 45 seconds from start to finish anymore. We might be seeing some ridiculously fast times from both of these runners here.
Yeah, for sure. And Walther about to do another of the new glitches, the diver down glitch. Personally, I think this is high on the list for most ridiculous looking glitch that's allowed in the category.
I don't know, that and Icebreaker, I think, for me, are pretty ridiculous looking. But, it looks like Dante's going to join him in Swamp. Now, one thing I'm a little interested in is all of a sudden I'm trying to remember exactly how many silver arrows it takes to kill Vitreous. Because when Walther makes his way, because Dante on one side did Vitreous
11,
early.
I believe, right? Because there's 9 eyeballs and 2 for the main.
Right, that makes sense to me, right? The reason I'm saying this is because if you... Dante's going to have a little bit of a more chance to pick up some extra arrow drops as well. So one thing that has happened to myself and some other people, as Walther is just showing how to do a fighter sword Argus very easily here. One thing that's happened here is that you can find yourself getting into Ganon's tower with maybe not exactly the number of arrows that you'd need to pass the mimic rooms, as down goes Argus to 1 silver arrow. So
yeah, there are 5 under a pot in the second mimic room, so you really only need 2 silver arrows to get to that point, but you do have to be careful not to let those despawn.
Yeah, it's just, that's one thing to kind of keep in mind as both of these runners are making their way back. Dante's go-moding this palace, Swamp Palace, the exact same way here.
I think we can pretty safely say we're not going into Turtle Rock for a sword, as Walther leaves Ether just sitting there.
Oh, that makes the Ice Rod pickup that both of these got there just for show, it looks like. Dante deciding not to pick up the red bottle there that Walther got out of the waterfall, and instead just making his way right to the back. This is going to give him his 5th crystal here to Walther's 4. Man, I don't know. This is if you're asking me who's got the advantage right now, I would probably just kind of shrug my shoulders here, because Walther's not going to be spending a whole lot of time in Misery Mire either. I think we might be just pretty much dead even. I think it's a dead heat.
Yeah, the dungeons that are left for both of them are pretty short.
And yeah, 1 silver arrow is all it takes for on Dante's side there, and there you go, down goes Argus, and that's going to be crystal number 5 for him.
Yeah, so Walther's going to have Desert and Mire to do, and Dante just needs to do Skull Woods before heading up to the mountain, so I think Dante's ahead.
I mean, the biggest question still comes from where is the other sword? Because it feels like if we're still on fighter sword at this point, we're probably dealing with a master sword. Okay, Dante just went up to the mountain here. Probably doing a master sword silver fight for Ganon today. Alright, where are you headed there, Dante? I mean, I'm seeing some concern in chat there. I'm pretty sure Dante hasn't forgotten the number of crystals he needs. I think there's a good chance he's looking for something in one of these other chests up here.
I mean, it would have to be a sword, right? In some way.
I think that's the only thing that would make sense right now.
May just
So he
not want to do the Hammer Mothula fight.
I mean, I don't blame him. That Hammer Moth fight is awful. Okay, so we're into... We're picking up Burna.
Burna. Well, and Red Mail.
Okay. And a heart. What?
More health.
Oh, God.
This is Spike Cave.
It's Spike Cave, yeah. It must be. I mean, why would you pick up Burna otherwise? Oh. Oh, God. What? I mean... Yep, that's Spike Cave. Oh my God.
It means that you might as well do this before Skullwoods, because you're going to save and quit out of Spike Cave either way.
Yeah, this is the only thing that kind of makes sense here. See, chat, this is why you never doubt the runners. They know this game very well.
I don't know, you can doubt the runners sometimes. Everybody makes mistakes. And there's our Master Sword. So that's full go mode for Dante 34, 45.
Yeah, something like that. I was going to say 34, 43 just because it was a nice little, palindrome there. And, ooh. Okay, Walther taking an extra second there to pick up another bottle out of the fire shed, and then he's on his way to... Yeah, then he's on his way to the back of desert to pick up the rest here.
Yep. Just incidentally, that Spike Cave sword is a terrible, terrible location for a second sword, so how bad are the third and fourth ones?
That is a question there. So, I think it's probably fair to say right now that Dante's... Yeah, I think I would say looking over everything now, with Dante having the sword advantage now, because if that is our second sword, we're probably pretty far up. So here's the thing, I'm not sure if there's going to be swords in GT. If I was planning this route, I'm not sure if there would be swords in GT that, because if there were, I'd probably go for that over doing a sword out of Spike Cave. Unless the big key is just ridiculously early or something. That's a lot of the strategy that comes into running these spoiler log races, is just trying to figure out exactly like what is the best thing to do here. And if both of these runners have decided that one of the best things for them to do today is to go ahead and get a sword out of Spike Cave, that tells you something else about the rest of the seed there.
That is the 6th crystal for Walther. We'll see how he chooses to route around that sword. Did pick up 2 bottles. I am pretty sure you can't do Spike Cave on just 2 bottles and 4 hearts.
Well, Mothula being a jerk over on Dante's side, but he went ahead and got him down there. So that's going to be his 6th crystal there.
Wait, can you do it on 2 fair?
According to Walther, yes.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, not having to go by Hookshot Cave, this is a lot shorter even with those 2 fairy animations, assuming you can make it.
Well, let's hear that this is all right. So we're gonna find out. This is a play that obviously neither you or I thought of, Mercer. So,
I mean, I definitely don't have movement good enough to do this. If Walther does, I'm very impressed.
Well, he's going to lose a heart every time that the hookshot animation stops. Then he'll get his iframes after the fairy revives him. And from this point on, it is basically going as fast as he can here. I think he's going to be okay.
I'm not sure how long the iframes last versus the picking up the block animation.
He's going to be able to hookshot off to the block. And yeah, he made it. Wow.
Wow.
Such an amazing call there on Walther's side there. So that probably, I feel like that saved him at least a climb up the Death Mountain, up Death Mountain here. Probably gained him a little time back.
Yeah, though obviously it's longer to go through Spike Cave itself that way and had to set it up. Also, still behind. Dante's about to do Hera, so gonna have to make up some ground along the way.
Yeah, let's see what method of Hera pot Dante decides to go through here, and it looks like we're going for the hook dash into the clip into the pot here, and took a couple of attempts, but he's in there, and that's going to be up to Moldorm. We go immediately. Yeah, let's see if Trolldorm plays nice right now. Looks like he's Dante's got the first two hits there, gets his third spin, and that's going to take him down. That'll be 7 crystals, and into GT we go. Typically we play a bit of a guessing game today, but as we don't have any numbers here, very quickly go ahead and get a location into chat there to tell us where exactly you think that GT Big Key is going to be. Dante about to enter GT with basically a quick Hera advantage here. See if Walther can maybe get his Hera pot there a little bit faster. He can maybe try to gain a second or two, but it looks like he's going to have a little bit of a trouble with it. Gets it there on the third time, so no advantage there for either runner.
And the Torch Big Key, nice.
That explains why nobody picked up any other swords then, because if there's swords deeper in GT, you're not going to get them.
Yeah.
And now Dante has 4 silver arrows.
2 more than he technically needs.
Technically, yeah, but that is this is one of those times where if one of those spikes gets in the way, things start getting a little bit hairy here. Alright. And Dante's going to have 10 after leaving the Mimic room there, so he's getting a bit of a rebate. Now, we're going to go ahead and I guess at this point we can go ahead and spoil where the other 2 swords are. You want to do the honors there, Mercer?
Sure. So one of them was on Bumper Cave. The cape is in Ice Palace, in the spike chest. And then the other is in the vanilla Big Key room of GT.
So, yeah. Nobody's going to be getting those today, that's for sure. All right, now we're going to go into the gauntlet over here on Dante's side there, sitting there with 8 hearts and Master Sword, so not the best equipment that he could ask for here, but enough to probably make to get through without any problem. Walther, on the other side, is going to be trying to do the gauntlet with considerably fewer hearts.
Does have a fairy. Grabbed one while doing Harapot.
It's amazing how much fairies can make the difference in these spoiler log seeds here, because when you're playing the a typical rando seed, a fairy's not something. A lot of times fairies can almost be annoying because you'll have like 15, 11, 12, 15 hearts. And you're like, I don't care, I don't want a fairy. But when you're down to 4, I mean, that doubles your health effectively.
Gonna grab one for the other bottle. And then we went for a second one in Hera. It just ran into him.
daaanty is just mowing through this gauntlet right now. He has kicked this into high gear, and he's almost at the top already.
You're gonna have an opportunity for a really good time.
Yeah, we might be seeing a sub 50 on this seed, which is... Ooh, daaanty.
Ran out of magic, had to drop down to get some more.
I might have said something a bit too soon there. I apologize. Okay.
One of those fairies gonna get burned here. Yeah. With Silver's Master Sword, probably still gonna be sub 50, gonna be tight.
daaanty really wanting that fairy to come over there, but fairy does not want to participate in his games, it looks like. Alright, finally gets it. Alright, 0 cycle for Walther and a...
I see we've just decided not to fight Moldorm today.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I understand. You don't want to even take the time about getting knocked off there. Saying, bye, hi Moldorm, bye Moldorm.
Why would you be worried about getting knocked off? You can fly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, pugs can fly. Everybody knows that, right? Oof. Not a great setup there on Agate 2 there. Getting kind of bunched together.
Chat kind of speculating on what would have happened in a blind version of the seed for swords. I'm pretty confident that the one in the GT big key would have been the second sword found.
Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty good bet there, because at some point you just would have gone and kept going, and then been very unhappy when you got to Ice Armos and still didn't have a sword. Alright, daaanty on his side is going to be dropping into his Ganon fight. Going to be doing a Master Sword fight with Silvers. And in we go.
Gonna set up for Kane strats.
Oof, the block strats there. That is a hard way to get some extra hits in there. If it works, you can 2 and 1 Ganon, but man, that is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, it gets 4 cycles for phase 1, looks like. I think he's got the transition here. Yeah, for sure.
Alright, but that's the best position you can get for Ganon in phase 2 there. He'll probably be able to get him most of the way down into phase 3, possibly. Not quite, so gonna have to go 1 more cycle here.
Yeah, I think he was 2 spins short, so 1 actual setup with that position. Does need to be a little cautious here. Pulls out the can of Burna.
Walther having a bit cleaner of a fight here, it looks like, with Aga. Daaanty is into phase 3 though, so not likely to make a difference at this point. This is Daanty's race to lose, it looks like.
Yep, with Silvers, just needs to get 4 shots in here. Being Master Sword spins does make it a little harder to get, doubles and triples than it would be with Tempered.
It does look like he's taken a little bit of extra care just to make sure that he gets the hits when and where he wants them to, and this is going to be number 4.
There it is.
All right, get your GGs into chat there for Daaanty. All he's got to do is cross this line here, and he will give himself a win in this match here. He's got to finishes with an SRL time of, well, we got to add the 15 minutes in, so it's 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 33 seconds. Get your GGs into chat for Daaanty as Walther is making his, finishing up his fight as well. GGs, Daaanty.
Yeah, Walther getting into phase 2 now. On half a heart, I believe, still has 1 fairy left. But sub 50 is always impressive. Ooh, Fire Rat Snipe there.
And that's going to be Walther's last fairy there. Hopefully we'll be able to get Daaanty into here for a quick little interview. We're probably going to wait until Walther's done just because he's right behind him.
Yeah. And Walther into phase 3 now. So past kind of the really hazardous part.
Yeah, pretty much got to avoid taking a Ganon hug at this point, but other than that, he should be... Alright, gonna get the first shot in, gonna go for a Fire Rod to get that Fire Rod shot to get his second shot in. Did get the torch glitch in, sorry, it's still early in the morning for me.
And sets up for that 4th shot.
And there goes the pig there. Go ahead and get your GGs into chat there for Walther as well, as he's going to be crossing the line here in just a second. We'll get you his time as soon as he's across. And that's a time of 1 hour and 16 minutes and 22 seconds there for, 1 hour, 6 minutes and 45 seconds. According to that, that's a PB for both of these guys on at least on SRL. So well done to them both here, and we are joined in chat by both Daaanty and Walther. GG's there, guys.
Yo, GG's.
Yo, GG, Walther.
So yeah, this seed looked pretty good until you started looking for the swords.
Yeah, the swords were in terrible spots. I don't know if you guys like disclosed where they were to like chat and stuff, but one was on Bumper Cave, and I was like, that's gonna be really easy. We'll just get the cape. Oh, that's in Pendant Ice Palace, and there's no other reason to go there. That's stupid. And then the key's stupid early in GT, or the big key rather, and that other sword's like super deep in GT. It's like there's no point.
Yeah, we might have let that slip when you guys went up. We're climbing GT at that point because we figured, yeah, you're not going to be getting those other ones there. We took a look at the spoiler log and just were going, that's just painful and not a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, probably about halfway through, I noticed, or maybe a little less than halfway, or I saw Walther had a bottle, and I was like, man, where the heck did he get that? And then saw he had the bug net, and I was like, I know exactly what he's doing. And so I was like, that's the correct play. He's making the correct play versus what I was doing, which he didn't have to go basically circle the whole mountain, to get an invincibility item just to get that second sword.
Yeah, that was we were watching that. We were sitting there going with 4 hearts and 2 bottles. Is like, I think that's enough. We weren't 100% sure if you were gonna make it there, Walther. So that gave us a little bit of excitement there. Any reason in particular you decided not to pick up any additional health, even though it was lying there in a chest right next to you?
Well, I didn't know where the hearts were. As soon as I searched up all the items, planned my route, and searched up where the big keys were, there was like 20 seconds left, which there normally is when I do a spoiler race. So if I get a heart on the way, I'll take it, but I don't have time to search them up.
All right, fair enough there.
I think I've actively have searched up 2 hearts in this like 6 runs I've done so far in this tourney. And the rest have just been like luck sacking into a few hearts on the way.
Yeah, it made for kind of an interesting thing there, watching you on one side there, kind of just like always on the edge of disaster there, versus like Daaanty. I mean, Daaanty, you never had like a huge heart lead there, but you were running around with like 5 hearts to his 3. And
well, I know Walt. I mean, me and him were chatting before we got started, and I know he was, he doesn't really look for a lot of health. And I thought maybe if there's stuff on the way, I will play this safer than normal and hope for the best. So when there's a heart container in Blind's hut, I'm like, oh, that's easy. Like just a lot of them were on the path, like where it took just a few seconds to grab. So I thought, all right. And I was actually like control effing, heart container while running around a few times, just to see if there were any more. I found that desert one kind of on the fly and was like, I'll pick that up, just in case. But I kind of took a page out of Nep's playbook from last night, which is like, play it a little safer and hope they make a mistake, playing aggressive. It was like, I don't know if that'll work. It may cost me, but yeah, it didn't cost me tonight. It was pretty good.
Yeah, with like having really low hearts, you definitely have to like take a couple of the rooms a bit slower, because you can't just damage boost through them.
Yeah, plus with like, I was trying to get health, like at least a few, just because I knew that we were going to have to make that Spike Cave play. And since I didn't route in the bug net or the bottles, I was like, where's half magic? Oh, that's in K45. That's a terrible location to go run down to. So that's not happening. So I was like, what am I going to do to kind of help with this magic? Because I don't want to run out of magic before doing Skull Woods. I should have done that. I should have made that play before I went to Swamp. It'd have been a time save, but that's like, water under the bridge, kind of perfect routing, at least from the way I did it.
I mean, I could say that my plan all along was to use the Ferris to get that sword. I could also say that I just luck sacked into that bug net while going for that 300 rupees.
It was intended. That was the big brain strat because it was the correct strat. So we'll give you credit for it.
Yeah, it was kind of funny while watching that. There's just every once in a while seeing the decisions that either of you made, and just kind of like Walther picking up that bug net and just kind of sitting there scratching our heads for a second, going, well, why would you get that? And then grabbing both of you grabbing the ice rod early. It was just like, oh, okay, that seems. And then looking down at the crystal layout and seeing T-Rod's pendant, probably just that honestly feels like just muscle memory after a point, likely, right?
Yeah, I think Ice Rod was one of the first thing I saw in the spoiler log, because I was searching up boots. So I was like just taking a mental note of like, yeah, pick up that Ice Rod in case you have to like fight Lamo early or whatever. So then when I started the race, I just still picked it up because it was in my notes.
Well, I mean, at least you never had to do it there. I mean, it was kind of nice for not having better swords there. You didn't really run into any boss where it was super helpful to have them. I mean, outside of Mothula. So you guys were able to kind of blitz through this game. I mean, both of your times are fantastic.
Yeah, this one was pretty stressful coming down the line. I figured as close as it was, I figured if I screwed up Master Sword Ganon, it would be over. And of course, like I'm having flashbacks to last week versus Zelda, where I was already behind versus Zelda, and then I had Master Sword Ganon in that as well. So it was like I ended up dying. So I was like, I hope that doesn't happen today.
I imagine both of you were watching the others there and had a pretty good idea where the other racer was, yeah?
Yeah. I knew that I was like slightly more than 1 minute behind for most of it, because the delay watching the restream was like about a minute, and I was like, hey, we're in the same room, and I was like, oh no, wait, delay, okay.
Yeah. For a while I knew I was behind, like at the very beginning, and I was like, it's gonna be okay, you're getting safeties. Maybe he takes a death. And then I saw that one death on the mountain, and I was like, okay, that was the one thing you needed. So
yeah, Death Mountain is my bane in this mode, because low hearts and those rocks. I think I've taken like 90% of all my deaths on that mountain.
The mountain's brutal with 3 hearts.
You just go for it and hope the best you can, because you really have almost no control over whether or not you're going to make it there. That's one of the worst places you can be. Well, I can't really think of anything else there. Daaanty, that you're going to move to 4-2 on the season there. Probably have a chance there to maybe make the top 8 there. How you feeling about that?
I'm feeling pretty good. The goal was like my stretch goal was like finish above 500, and I mean I've kind of sealed that at this point. I did have one person I lost to in week 1 drop already, so that's kind of going to make my chances of even if I win next week of squeaking into top 8 probably not like non-existent. But I'm probably gonna I'll play it out next week. Maybe play spoiler against no pun intended or something, but. Against someone else, and maybe take another W off of somebody.
Yeah, in one way, I'm actually kind of glad that I lost this one, because I think my chances of getting top 8 was already ruined, because I took 2 like early losses. So my tiebreakers would be like pretty garbage anyways. So hopefully Daaanty can take that top 8.
Yeah, it would be kind of nice. They're going to be pulling for you there, Daaanty, for sure. On the other side, I'm kind of looking at Walther going, there's a pretty decent chance I'm going to end up playing you this next week, which will make me feel so happy.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it would be fun. But we'll see, I guess, yeah?
Well, thank you guys for doing the restream. I know it was kind of like put together last second, so a huge thanks for everybody doing this. And if you guys noticed, me and Walt had a little bet going on, so I'm going to take your S. So we had a letter wager from another Discord where you changed nicknames. So
yeah, I was about to say, where in my name do you see an S? But
yeah, I was kind of like.
Yeah, unfortunately we can't say our names. Well, at least not Daaanty's, because it's very not PG friendly at all.
All right, we'll leave it at that then.
Yeah, but GG to Walther, and again, thank you guys. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. GG's. Thanks for putting the restream together.
Yeah, and with that, I guess we'll kind of get these things all going here then. Anything you want to say there, Mercer?
Just give both our runners here a follow. Daaanty, Walther 4. Also, my co-commentator today, Days Cloud. Follow him. He's a lot more interesting to follow than I would be. And shout out to our tracker, Sports Hefe. Thank you for pushing the buttons, keeping us on point. There is another race tonight. It's going now, I believe, on SpeedGaming 3. So, go watch that if you want to see more people trying to do parts of this game on 4 hearts that shouldn't be done that way.
Yeah, I agree. The one over on SpeedGaming 3, that's a 1-up 40 versus Matt 78-98 there, and those two can play this game just a bit. So yeah, I think we're probably going to be heading over there as a group here in just a second there. So just sit tight and have a great night, everybody.